Here are some tips that helped me align with my higher self. And when I say higher self, I mean the state of being that is fully operating on love, on the highest love, unconditional love, and transcending the logic of 3D circumstances. So, for example, transcending the mentality of I have to do X to get Y, or I am doing X to get Y. Because whenever we attach ourselves to get something, we're living from lack and we're not living from our divinity. Um, this is why I actually wrote a book called The Yoga of Business, which explains how it kind of shares how I've been operating from a detached place, even in business, to practice that spiritual separation from ego, so that I can just do and move without attaching to results. But anyway, so here's an example. Let's say if you had found yourself in a circumstance where you're like, oh, I have to do this because it's my only option now. It's my only option to live with my parents. It's my only option to sell my house or something like that. Remember, there's always a truly profound spiritual reason for their circumstances. So pause, and instead of saying that narrative to yourself, find the profound spiritual reason for your experience. For example, um, you guys, just 3 months ago, just so you know, I was deathly afraid of human beings, deathly afraid. So to the point of where I would run off the road. I was running because I didn't feel safe anywhere. Um, and I did the work to embody safety, worked on the root chakra, and especially aligned with the higher self, okay? To be free of fear or any vibration that is lower than unconditional love. And one of the things that I had to face was, do I move back with my mom, or do I continue struggling? Because I know I'll plant wherever, I'll bloom wherever I planted. I know that about myself. Um, but after one mental hospital stay, I had to choose: do I go with my mom, whom I cut off because of certain events, because I noticed what I would call narcissistic traits, which again, this is a narrative of narcissism that I also transcended, because I know that the world is a reflection of me. So if I want to dissolve narcissism entirely from my world, I have to dissolve that narrative too, that narcissists exist. This is an unpopular opinion for many, but I realize that everyone's a reflection of me and I am of the highest love. So I'm going to love that part of myself, and I'm dissolving that narrative. Okay. That was step number one. I dissolved the narrative that anything outside of me was anything but love. Okay. Maybe it operates differently, and that's okay. I send it love and compassion without a narrative. Okay. And the decision I ultimately made was, I'm going to allow my family back into my life. I'm going to live with my mother. And there was so much fear in me at the time and hesitancy that it felt like I was afraid that I would undergo a spiritual death, because I thought I was protecting myself and shielding my energy by not being around certain people, only to find out I was actually stunting my own spiritual growth and spiritual development. So instead, I chose to expand. I chose to have faith. And the higher perspective I came from was, I don't have to stay with my mom. I'm choosing to make it right with my family. I am going to my mother's to make it right with my family, to create memories. So I shifted from fear love, something I have to do, from fear based, to love based, which is, I'm doing this to be of service. And this is, Hinduism teaches a lot about why we have to respect our parents. It's actually for profound spiritual reasons. Again, it's nothing to do with the ego. And I've been learning so many lessons since that. Um, so that's so many lessons of changing narratives. So that's one example of changing a narrative to the higher self. The other is, if you're looking for a job, quote unquote, looking for work, I've stopped myself from looking for work for money. I've stopped myself from working for money. I told myself I never have to work for money again. I'm not doing anything for money, because I know I'm free of that paradigm now. So I explored opportunities that would speak, that would bring me joy and be fulfilling, so that I could be of service and align with my highest good and the good of all. And I was very specific on things. One of the opportunities I said that I drew to me, I remember the day before it came to me. So I'm very much drawn to teaching now. doing ESL teaching work, and just teaching people to read. I love teaching reading. And there's an awesome company that I found called Joyfully Read, and they teach any children in public schools or private schools or even homeschool populations. But when I was applying to tutor and teaching positions, I realized something was out of alignment with my values, and I could not, it wasn't of my higher self to work in an environment that was supporting curriculums that I didn't feel good about, curriculums that I knew were just brainwashing kids. So a lot of the public school stuff. So I stopped applying to these, and I said to the universe, okay, I need something. And I had very strict parameters. I said, I need something that allows me to work Monday through Thursday, that I end my workday at 2 p.m. and it supports homeschool populations. That aligns with my values. The next day, I interviewed, and literally everything matched that to a T. And they even also had the same narrative of me. They also spoke of operating in, they literally used the same language as me as far as speaking for the highest good of all. And I was like, what? Who speaks like this? Like, I've never met anyone. And so it's funny because at the time I needed a support system around me. I felt I was creating a support system. I know that was very important for me after what I've been through. And I prioritized that. I prioritized creating that, and I knew it was there. So I embodied that first. Then I wrote it down. Then I spoke it. Then it came to me. Mind you, I went out to apply for jobs, okay? But I did so with an energy in alignment with my highest self. I did it in alignment with my highest self. I didn't settle. I didn't say I have to do anything. I was very clear about my intentions, and and operating from the highest self. So these are just examples I wanted to give you. I feel like a lot of channels, sometimes it can feel so far out of reach, our higher self. So I hope that this is practical exercises, and I would encourage you to just do it daily. We have to be really mindful of the narratives we have in our head. So allow yourself to be awareness, to be present in your awareness, because that's what you are. You're just awareness. And any narrative that does not align with your highest version of yourself, correct it, gently revise it. And, no, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because, and find reason to be of service. Find something in it, a way to be joy. Changing your perspective, changing your motivation will bring different results, will bring more abundance to you, will bring more joy, because whatever you're living with and living from and acting from is what you're going to invite to you, because it's just a mirror. It's just a mirror. So we have to embody the vibration of being in order to encounter more opportunities of joy, wealth, success, all these kinds of things. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps someone. And yeah, comment, subscribe, like all that jazz if you want. But I really appreciate you being on this journey with me, and I would love to hear your stories too, of how changing your narratives, or any narratives you've changed, what you're changing in your life, so we can encourage each other in the comments.